What's up, everybody? This is the Jedi. And greetings wherever you are. As you know, my life is plagued with bad luck, so I can't just go live like the rest of humanity. There always has to be drama for me. That's the story of my life, I promise you. With every avenue of my life. I would just start by saying that this is probably the last time you're going to see Grizzly Adams. You can vote. You can tell me your opinion. I wanted to just let my beard go all the way and see what I thought. And I like it. I love it. But it's a lot of work. And so I think I'm kind of on the fence. I almost shaved before I came on here today. I almost did. I almost. Anyway, I've been missing you guys because life is a journey. And I have been deeply stressed out over the last couple of weeks. You know, when somebody else is having a problem, my whole life, I'm like my grandmother. I feel like it's happening to me. And that has caused me a lot of heartache in life. I don't know how to let go and be like the rest of humanity. I'm a very self-aware person. I'm very critical on myself. I'm introspective. I've even said to you over the years, it's a good idea to even film just have somebody follow you around with a camera for a couple days, even if you can just get them to do it one day, whatever. The purpose of that is to just see you in third person, even that detail, you know, not just the spiritual and the character and all of that stuff, and really knowing oneself. You got to see yourself. How do you do anything, you know? And so I'm very aware of myself. I'm very, that's something I love about me, is that I'm very aware of myself. And there's not a whole lot anyone would ever tell me about me that I don't already know. It's just self-honesty. But I mentioned to you that there's one of my followers that's been following me for many years, going back to 2015 at the very least. And I know that for sure because Farrakhan had his 10-10-15 march. And this person is somebody that when I was trying to start the Black Independence Liberation League, this person is someone that I made up flyers for recruitment because at that time I was using Skype to interview brothers online as potential members. And this sister was going to the march, and there were some other people that went as well, and I sent all of them huge stacks of flyers to hand out at the 10-10-15 march. So that's how I know I've known her that long. I'm also her son's godfather, and she is homeless. I won't say her name, but that has consumed me. And when I'm consumed by stress, I don't do anything. I don't eat. I don't, I shut down. I only take care of things that I have to take care of, and then that's it. You know, prayer, Quran, and things like that. But I just shut down, man. I've always been like that. I've always been like that. And, you know, I was compounded by, I'll have to share this with you. I was compounded with that by the fact that I had to reflect on our lack of unity as a people. It killed me. I saw a doctor, some young Jewish doctor, but very passionate, very engaging, impressive. I was taken in by his story because he was speaking to this Jordan Peterson guy who did the What is a Woman? No, that's a different guy. It's the other guy. It's this, I forget this guy's name, but you mix these two up. But he had been a whistleblower on, he works at the biggest Texas hospital in the biggest children's hospital in Texas. And he was a whistleblower because he knew what these hormones and gender affirming medications are really doing to children as far as sterilizing them for life. But my purpose of mentioning him is because the guy that's interviewing him said, you know, what can people do to help you out? He and his wife had spent like already $30,000 or $300,000, I think, for their legal fees, because obviously the system is coming after them because how dare he? And he mentioned his fundraiser. I looked at the date of the video. The video was 2 months old. He had raised $1.3 million people had given. And I began to cry for him because he kept mentioning this daughter that was going to be born in October. And he was almost to tears at different points. It's like an almost 2-hour video. It's really something. And so I found myself crying for him, but I found myself crying for us and for this sister, because I would have given anything to be able to have that sort of unity or cooperation. I didn't know her situation was as dire as it is. And so for the last 2 weeks, she's been homeless. And I don't have a magic wand that I can wave. I'm not wealthy. And that just killed me. It still does. But I've just been consumed, and I'm trying to come out of my funk. In fact, even today, I didn't really know what I wanted to talk about. I'm kind of disconnected from world events and news and my own city. Sometimes just to relax, I love to go out and fly one of my drones, especially at sunset. It's the most beautiful thing. We've also been on fire. So I did have one day that I went out, and there was a fire that was really close to my house. And I took some aerials, and but I didn't stay up long because it wasn't until the second flight that I was like, oh wait, because it was raining ashes on me. And I just thought, well, I don't know, it could get into something on the drone, and you know, that could, so let me just bring it back. But I haven't even gotten out for that. And I don't know if I shared with you guys also, in the midst of all of this, my nephew was hit by a car. And that was almost 3 weeks ago now. So I guess this is 3 weeks. And then he went dark. I spoke to him on whatever Friday it was 3 weeks ago. He was supposed to go to the emergency room on Saturday. His girlfriend was going to take him. Very beautiful girlfriend, by the way. I've never spoken to her, but I'm getting off. Stay on course, Jedi. He was supposed to call me on Saturday, and then he didn't. And I haven't heard from him since. And in the interim, I even sent the police to his house one day for a wellness check. And they called me back and said to me that, in fact, even his mother had put in a wellness check from the day before, that they had checked on him. He was fine. And I told them, so then I will kill him then now. So I have to kill him myself. So I don't know what that's about. We're in a good space and all of that. So I don't know what's going on. Anyway. And then also we're in September. And I'm still trying to stay on course to go back to Gambia in November. And the challenges, you all, there's some things I can't tell you because they're private, but I'll just say as much as I can, because I don't like to leave anybody with a cliffhanger. I hate that in life. Don't start telling me something if you're not going to tell me. I don't even like to watch a television show that next time or to be continued. I won't watch the next half because now you've pissed me off. Like, I'm over it. Anyway, I'm trying to go back in November. And in fact, even my brother Samba was supposed to come to the United States in October. So the international corporation that he works for, or company or organization, he was going to be coming to the United States, but that got changed, and so he's on hold now, and we don't know when he's coming to the United States. But he was going to Colorado anyways. And in fact, he and I had a really, really good conversation the other day because you know, as you all know, I'm very passionate about what is happening in Gaza, and the outright slaughter of the Palestinian people. It's nothing else. It is white genocide. That's how you must think of it, because that is the most profound description of the truth of it. And as someone who is passionate about the truth in life and who has been given a vocabulary and the ability to speak, it's important for me to always say it like it is, you know. So it is white genocide. And Samba was reminding me that there's a way worse genocide, and I know about this, that's going on in the Congo. And there's some other African countries where it's very dire. And all of it is at the hand of this white devil, you know. And in some countries, it's the Arabs. And I've bitched, over the years about my own experience with Arabs. And I'm supposed to know the good ones, the Muslims, Everybody always thinks about Arabs when they think about Muslims, when the truth is most Muslims on the earth look like me and you. Hold on. So it's not the Arab that represents Islam. It is me and others like me. And not surprising, because, when you're born with something, if you're born with wealth, you don't think about what it's like to live paycheck to paycheck, or to even think about the price of anything. That's not your world, you know. And so many of them come from Muslim countries, but know this: when you think of a Muslim country, you usually think of some Arabs. Most Muslim countries are African countries. Thank you very much. And even African countries that are not majority Muslim have huge Muslim populations. Let's be very clear. So we appreciate Islam more and are better Muslims than most Arabs because they're born into it. And it's just a thing, you know. One of the things that I was interested in learning when I went to Africa, and why it was so important for me to be living in African Muslim countries, is because I wanted to know, how do Africans express Islam in their everyday life, in everything? Like, how do they express Islam? What does that look like? Because the only examples I've ever had is Arabs and other Black Muslims here, and not the Nation of Islam. As I say, they are not Muslims. The Nation of Islam is not Muslim. God loved them. They're honorable, decent people who mean well. May Allah give them their due. But they are not Muslims. Be very clear about that. And so it was important for me to see, how do my brothers and sisters on the continent express Islam? How do they even recite Quran? When they recite Quran, what does that sound like? You see, my influence is Arab and Black, you know. La ikraha hafid-din, you know, and so forth. But so I'm aware of the racism, the vitriolic hate that Arabs have for Black people. And I'm probably the only Muslim on the planet that you will ever know of that will boldly say that I believe the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was a Black man, full stop. I know what Allah has given me and allowed me to know. And so there are Muslims that will say, how dare you say the Prophet is a Black man? This is haram. This is, you know, it's the worst thing you could do. Well, bite me. Because when I was probably, and my godson just had a birthday, by the way, going through all of this. He just turned 7. I mention him because I was probably his age when I first heard the actual name Prophet Muhammad. I was no older than 8. I know that because I know where we lived and how old I was, and just I wasn't older than 8, maybe 9 if I push it. I had never heard that name. I was born Muslim. I never heard that. You know, it's kind of like when I meet people, one of the conversations I love to have with people is, when did you know you were on Earth? Like, when's your first memory of knowing you're on Earth? Like, you're aware that you're a person, you know? And don't give me 2. Don't. But I was no older than 9 when I heard this name. And I'm from the south side of Chicago. I never seen nobody dressed in any traditional clothing that you see me wearing, and garments and scarves and all that. I never saw none of that at that age. I had never seen it on television, not because we didn't watch television. When I heard this, my little child saw a man in white garments that I never saw before. I couldn't see his face, but he was a Black man. And that image was with me my whole life. It wasn't until probably 2005 or 6, maybe 7, I was in the mosque with some of my brothers, and we were talking about something, and something came up that somebody mentioned something that let me know that they didn't know the Prophet was a Black man. And I've been knowing this since I'm no older than 9, you know. So that has been its own journey. But I believe that the Arabs, because I see how they treat me even right now in 2024, and how my brothers and sisters are treated around the world by them, If you're a celebrity, they kiss ass up to you. They'll make you a sheikh. They'll turn you the best thing. They're very materialistic. They're very all of that. Very worldly. They love fancy cars. You'll see them wearing jewelry, and they're just very, you know, the loud cologne. It's not stereotype. That's really who they are, dude. I know a lot of Arabs my whole life. I'm telling you who they are. And but they have the same incentive to say, well, we don't talk about what the prophet looked like. But everything that they say is a very strong hint that he's definitely not a black man. So they have the same incentive that the white devil has of making Isa alayhi salam a white man. They have the same incentive of making this glorious prophet not look like me either. So till my death, until I meet Allah Azza wa Jal, the owner of existence, will I know the actual truth. But until then, I hold that Muhammad ibn Abdullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam was a black man. Period. So I was talking to my brother Samba, and I guess I just hadn't elaborated because he always hears me screaming, the white man's the devil, white man's the devil, white man's the devil. He didn't know the full breadth of my feeling and knowledge about the Arabs. And I couldn't, he sent me a long text. And I loved it. I was on the phone with the sister that I'm telling you about, who is going through this homelessness. Not gonna cry in this video, not going to do that. Not. So I called him. I said, oh, brother, we are aligned. We are completely aligned. And then we had a beautiful conversation. And what I also loved about it is because Samba doesn't really get worked up very easily in my experience. But I loved his passion on this issue. I loved that. Loved it. So that's why I have been missing everybody. And it's contrary because I really had saw that I was like, you know, I might be able to do maybe, if not two, at least one video a week between now and the time I go back to Africa, you know, and maybe I still will. But I as you all know, I speak when I am inspired, and I speak, and duly I speak when I can. Rarely, but definitely there are times when I've just gone too long, and it's like, you need to make contact with your people, you know, just so people know you're not dead. And by the way, speaking of being dead, there's a lady that I know who called me, we're at Thursday, I think, Wednesday. Anyways, whenever she called me, like, I don't know, it feels like it was, could have been last week. Nobody knows. But anyway, she called me and said, oh, you're okay. Somebody told me you had expired. I don't know anybody that knows her, that knows me, that would proclaim me dead. Not understanding. So there's that. What is going on right here? Oh, bitches. Anyway. So here I am, the Jedi. For those of you who may be seeing me for the first time, because somebody tells me you should say that more often so people know why you call yourself the Jedi. Obviously, my mama didn't name me the Jedi. Okay, she did. No, she did. She wanted to. All right, she didn't. But I have always been a passionate person. and a tell-it-all. You know, even growing up, my siblings, I'm going to tell on you. Because I don't like any stain on me that's not my own, that I didn't put there in life. So I will tell on you. And, but I call myself the Jedi because as I got older in life, since I was in my early teens, I've been a militant. I've always hated injustice and unfairness. I don't like people who lie. I just don't like when people just don't do what's right. Just because it's right. That's it. One of my favorite quotes from Dr. King is, "The time is always right to do what's right." It's so simple but powerful. Just do it. But humanity is not like that. At least not here. I shouldn't say humanity. This nation is not like that. People's first instinct is deception and lies. So I usually was alone, even in a crowd. Wherever I'm at, nobody speaks like me. They don't hold the same views as me. Not even my own family. They're not. I'm the baby of 9 children, and my siblings are just wanderers, really. You know, they're not fixated on the things that I'm fixated on, and I usually don't know people like that. And then when I would hear Dr. King, I would hear Medgar Evers, I would hear Malcolm X, and on and on and on, Fannie Lou Hamer. I would hear people or read something about them. I go, I say that's me. That's me. And this began to build a thing in me that I understood that nothing had changed for our people, because if I'm thinking these things autonomously, organically from my own soul, and now I'm seeing that these people were saying the same thing and feeling the same way, then nothing has changed. And I used to say for a long time, I was born at the wrong time. I went for many years saying that I was born at the wrong time. I was born at the wrong time. Then that was kind of joined and almost probably replaced with I'm possessed. I'm possessed, I'm possessed, I'm possessed. I'm possessed by the ones who came before me. I'm possessed. How is it I'm saying the same thing they're saying and nothing has changed? I'm saying the same thing they're saying and nothing has changed. I'm saying the same thing they're saying and nothing has changed. But more than that, I have their fight. I'm willing to give my life for the liberation and freedom of African people across the earth, literally. If someone showed me now, said, we're going to show you, a year in the future or whatever time it takes, we're going to show you that your people is going to be where you always wanted them to be. You're going back to before integration. You're going back to that in America, and you're going to have dynasties. You're going to be the millionaires and billionaires, the huge corporations. And Africa, it will make anything in existence pale to its beauty and richness, its castles and mansions. They have finally taken control. Africa is one nation now with one currency, and on and on and on. And they say, but this is not going to happen unless you're willing to give your life. Take it. Take it. Take it. Because if it means that I gotta go, I'll go. That's how bad I want this for us. So I have that. The day that Malcolm stood at that podium for the last day, one thing I know about death is it whispers to you before it comes. I know that. And he was ready. You think this man as intelligent as he was, didn't know that his security detail was off that day? He knew. He knew. He knew. And so I'm that same person. But in the Star Wars movies, the first three, forget all the other stuff that came after it, the very first three, starting in the 1970s or something, which I wasn't born yet. Anyways, Luke Skywalker. All of the Jedi have been murdered off. They've been defeated, run off their planets and all of it. And the Alliance is just running around the galaxy now and trying to run away from the Empire, the White Empire. And here comes this kid who is like, wait, I could be a Jedi. He was the last hope for the Alliance. He is the one who was willing to give it all over, including his life, and confront Vader and the Emperor and all that stuff. He was the last one. And because when I came to YouTube and I looked around and I listened, I didn't hear my voice. I didn't see me because I'm always alone on the earth, even if I'm in a crowd of 50,000 people. I felt like I am one of, because I don't know the other ones. I'm one of, if not the last voice and human being who is willing to give it all over for our people. That's why I lost a channel of 23,000 subscribers, because I'm not going to change the way that I speak, because what I think and what I say is what I feel in my soul. You cannot shut me down. You can't shut me down. I am not a channel. I am not a channel. And what comes out of my soul is, in earthly terms, my intellectual property. And so for that reason, I call myself the Jedi. It also fits because it is singular, it is royal, and it is plural. You are the Jedi who follow me. The Jedi, that one, the Jedi. Do you understand? And the usually connotes an inclination of royalty. And I know that I am a king. So I call myself the Jedi. Everything about me has purpose and meaning. I don't do anything to be trendy or random. Everything about me is purposeful. Always know that. So welcome to anybody who is new to me. I hope you will join my family and subscribe to the channel. Help us grow back to 23,000 people and beyond. I came today because there was somebody else that died. I know his name, and I should be shot for this because he's one of our main musical icons out of St. Louis. St. Louis. But I've been so in this depression because of our sister's homelessness. I saw the feed and I kept saying, I guess something happened, you know, and then I realized I can't think, y'all know who it is. I can't think of his name. And then of course, Tito Jackson. I don't know the moment surrounding when I knew of Tito, but I found out about Tito. And the first thing I thought about was their mother. I just thought, no, Catherine has to go through this, because her and my grandmother are the same woman. I cried so hard with her when she did her interview after Michael's murder. She and my grandmother, same person. They from Gary, Indiana. We from down the road in Chicago. It's 9 of them kids, 9 of us. I could keep going. They're the same woman. My grandmother looked like her. They wore the same wig. They wore their lipstick. That's my grandmother. That's her. And when I met Catherine many years ago at the compound in Encino, California, she was just like my grandmother. She came out. I don't know who the girl was in the passenger seat. I still don't know. Could have been one of I guess it was one of the granddaughters. You know, the black Mercedes comes out, dark windows. The windows come down, and Catherine is at the wheel. And she was telling us she was going down the street to Gelson's Market, and she would talk to us when she came back, and she did. But I thought of her first when I knew of Tito. He was a young man, you know, and he still looked great, as they all do. And I just thought about Catherine first, like, wow, she's got to go do this, because women like that, they don't make them anymore. And they're so, my grandmother, I know faith and spirituality because of my grandmother, not because I'm a Muslim. Like, faith and spirituality was in me already, and belief, that was in me already before I even knew anything about me being a Muslim. You know, understand what I'm saying? My grandmother was deeply faithful, and so is Catherine. And I know how devastated my grandmother was when her sister died, my aunt. Like, they were, I'm off topic, but I'm not really off topic. I would hear them on the phone, or when they were together even. One didn't want to go and leave the other one here. Their brother, my Uncle Buddy, had passed many years before. And, you know, I would hear them, sister, I don't want to leave you here. No, sister, I don't want to leave you here. If something happened to me, I don't want to leave you. I mean, one didn't want to go before the other one, so the other one wouldn't have to suffer, you know. And as it was the will of Allah, my aunt went first, you know. And I just remember how my grandmother was. And so Catherine must be in a state. Because I think she knew Michael Jackson was an angel when she gave birth to him. I think women know, especially women from that era, not these rump-shaking sisters now. They ain't really connecting to their child, you know. That's so offensive to me. My mother died when I was 6 months old. I will never even know her breath. I to this day, I still sit in the dark sometimes and just ask God, can you let her just come to me? Can you just let her come to me? Can she come to me? Can she just come to me? I'm never going to be a whole human being. And my grandmother did a fantastic job of raising me. But I'm never going to be whole. I always have this thing. What would mom say? Just to see people when they just lean over on their mother like this. That's, what does that feel like? To touch the vessel that you came from. That's kind of God on earth to you. Your mother, you know? So they don't make mothers like that. And so Catherine, I think, she's from that era where women were more in tune, you know, with that holiness that is the carrying of a child. It is the most divine act of a human that can be expressed on the earth, as far as I'm concerned. It's a woman carrying another human being. I'm here because my mother carried me. I'm a whole human with 10 fingers and 10 toes. My mother carried me. I walk, I breathe, I speak. She is the vessel from which I come. What? I would be under her skirt every single day. I probably would never work a day in my life. I don't know what I would have been, you know, because I was under my grandmother's skirt. And I think women from that era were more in tune with the holiness of that. And I think she knew Michael was absolutely something special. Just the same way as Allah whispered to Maryam and gave her the knowledge of the coming forth of the Prophet Isa alayhi salam. Behold, I bring good news of a child, etc. And I think this was that. You know, when you're really connected spiritually, there's a lot of things that happen, you guys. But it only happens if you're really sincere, you know. That's why I've always preached to you, you got to silence your soul. You got to silence your life. Because what I call the whisper is the voice of God. It is the guidance, you know. If you talk to or see people who've had a near-death experience, they will always tell you one thing. You hear from every single one of them. Go find them after you watch this today. They'll always say, whenever they got to wherever they went, that the people they were talking to, their mouths weren't moving. They felt every smile. They felt every word. It was telepathic. You'll hear them say that. And that is how the Creator speaks to us. My last moments with my grandmother, Rahimahullah. We had spoken. I was at her bedside. We were holding hands. I'd held the phone for her to speak to my brother. And then we got off the phone and there was no more words. And as I just held her hand, we were just looking into each other's eyes. And every time I tell this story, I tell everybody, everything was given that wasn't spoken. Every last minute thing, that just any little tidy up that she hadn't communicated, I got it. I got it. I got it. You understand? And so, unbeknownst to me, that was preparing me to recognize the whisper. I already knew the whisper, but I hadn't spoken about it. I hadn't turned to it, even though I knew it was there. I hadn't turned to it and just really focused in on it, you know. But when I did, it's life changing. It is life changing. It's life changing. But the requirement for it is silence of the soul. You cannot have noise to your soul. And another principle I've always taught you is that wisdom comes in silence. How many, if I had one copper penny for the number of times people have left me comments, have spoken to me on the phone, have texted with me, have Skyped with me, and said, Jedi, I miss your videos from your old channel. And the depth with which they say it, I know how sincere it is, because most of that work was produced in the wee hours of the morning when the earth is silent. Because I had come to a point in my life where if I'm not tired, I'm not going to bed. I realized my whole life I'm just going to bed because it's time to go to bed. Well, I don't want to go to bed. I don't need to. So I'm staying up. You know, it was all part of my not wasting time on the earth, just experiencing life. So I'm up. I'm up. And so when I started doing YouTube videos, that was the best time for me to do videos. That's when the inspiration was the strongest and clearest. And that's why that work was so powerful. And that's why the white devil shut me down. Because they, like I, know the power of words. When one knows how to be an effective speaker or is given the gift of effective speaking, you can move a nation. You can move a nation. I wouldn't be surprised if the FBI, the CIA, and everybody else were watching me. you know. So wisdom comes in silence, as does the whisper. So my best thinking, I can be driving down the highway at 90 miles an hour, and I do 90. And I've got my music blaring. I do my best thinking. My best thinking. Because my soul is always silent. You have to know this, everybody. You have to know this. Because if you get this, your whole life really does change. Because every decision you make is the right one. Your timing is always perfect. You know when to do everything. You're more assured that you're right where you need to be and doing exactly what you need to be when you need to be doing it. And I've given you examples over the years, you know, but it's even to say the whisper is like taking 5 hours to say something that you can't say. It's faster than a blink of an eye. I just blink my eye. I just blink. It's faster than that. It's quick. It's quick. It's lightning. It's lightning quick, but it's clear. You get it. The whisper. The whisper. Do you understand? You experience it in your life, but by the time you finally get to it, you go, something told me, or I knew I should have, or I started to, or I almost. It's too late. It already whispered to you long before, but you didn't hear it. Therefore, you couldn't obey it. And those are two distinct things, because when you hear it, you can't obey it. You can't not obey it, because sometimes it tests you. You understand? But it's a protector and it's a guide. Always know what to do. Do you understand? And so not my ear now. Oh, God. And so some of the examples I've given you, when I had my business years ago, when I first started, long before I had my retail store and all that stuff. By the way, I have to show you guys some pictures of my old store sometime. If you remind me, probably not today, but if you remind me and stay on me, I have the pictures on my computer. I could just find the file and show you. My store was beautiful. And, but long before I had that, when I started out with fragrance, and one of the things I used to carry around was my camera, my video camera, so I could, when I go to retailers, liquor stores, smoke shops, gas stations, beauty salons, things like that, I could show them what my product looks like in the store, in other stores, so they could imagine it in their store. And but I also carried oil lamps. Hold up, you guys. Okay, anyways, I have one burning behind my lamp. But that's not even the one I want you to see. I want you to see one of my really glorious ones. It's got mirrors, and I'll show it to you, inshallah. I have it. Anyway. But I would keep all these varieties of lamps and accessories and all this stuff in my duffel bag in the hallway of my apartment before this one. And I was going out the front door to go to one of my stores across town to stock the store. And at that time, I had magnets on my doors on my car with my logo and my company name and all that. And when I went to shut my door, you're the door. You're my house. So I went like this. I'm going to close the door. You saw how quick that was? Do you see it? The whisper. That was the whisper. Because I saw the bag in a glimpse. But that lightning speed that I told you about, in that moment, it already told me to take the bag. I closed the door. I locked it. Went to my garage, etc. Soon as I pull up to the store, I open my door to get out of the car. I step my left leg out and I'm stepping up. There's a brother standing on the thing right there by the store. He sees my sign on my door. He says, "Hey man, you got them oil lamps?" The whisper. The whisper. One more for you and we'll move on. My best friend was here in California one year, Joseph, and we had gone to an event, but there was no parking. There was no parking forever. We circled and looking down every street. Oh, damn it, no, nothing forever. No parking. So we just resolved that we're just gonna have to drive way the hell out and walk all the way back. So I come around the corner, I go up to this stop sign, and I've told Joseph about everybody who knows me, I tell them about the whisper. Nobody listens to me. But anytime somebody's with me and the whisper, I always say it out loud. So they know I just got the whisper. So I stop at the stop sign, I hit the gas, and in the middle of the intersection, I go, "Whisper!" And I turn the wheel. It's a very short block. We went right over that, and there was a parking spot right there. The whisper. The whisper, everybody. The whisper. 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 One of my main sources of stress before I went to Africa was my spiritual vibration was just off because of all the stress. Is this the right time? Should I get on this airplane? Then the day I get there, the plane leaves early. You know, I got to wait 2 more days. What does that mean? Should I not go? You know, it was anyways, I am lost if I don't feel the whisper. The whisper, the whisper, the whisper. Okay, so that's all I think I'll say about Catherine. Just that I feel like she knew that Michael Jackson was an angel when she gave birth to him. And I believe Michael Jackson was a modern era incarnation of an angel on the earth, because we have no evidence of anything less than that. He was a Christ child, practically. You know, we know the talent Allah gave him, but more than anything, we saw him in his adulthood and how he acted and what he did. You can't find a single human being that said they had to cuss Michael Jackson out, or he cussed them out, or they had beef. This is a person who was the most famous human being ever recorded in the existence of human beings. And we don't have one human being to say a bad word about his character. We don't have it. We don't have it. We don't have a single picture of Michael Jackson while he's not on stage. We don't have a single picture of him not on stage with a Gucci or a Fendi or a Givenchy or Armani, Versace, not a watch, not a ring, not a necklace, not an earring, not a fancy, nothing. He always looked like the Goodwill child. And he shopped at the Goodwill. Did you know that? Michael loved the Goodwill just like me. Loved it, loved it, loved it. Loved it. There's video of his family even on YouTube. Some old family footage where they go in this old ugly station wagon out somewhere. They're somewhere down south where they have family, and they're teasing him because Michael's saying something they were talking about. He goes, "I like to go to the Goodwill. You find really good stuff there." And they're like, "Oh, the Goodwill." Michael's like, "Yeah, that's good stuff there," you know. But he never. You see him running around Neverland with kids. There's videos here on the channel I've shown you. He's running around Neverland playing with kids in those damn same penny loafers that he goes on stage in, jumping in the pool and everything with the penny loafers on. I'm over it. Like, he just wasn't a materialistic dude. He didn't live for this world. And he's in the Guinness Book of World Records for being the most giving human being that ever gave, since anybody said the word give. So without getting too deep with it, I think she knew her son was an angel. I think she knew that. This one is somehow more special than the other ones. He just is. So my heart goes out to Katherine Jackson. And I think she's 90 something now. How old is Katherine Jackson? You want to make me work, Heffa? How old is Katherine Jackson? She's 94. So there's that. But yeah, my heart goes out. I also wanted to talk, and I think I'll do it in this order because I have a video I want to show you. Of one of the videos I want to start with is Kamala Harris's sister, Maya. But know this, isn't it interesting? Obama, now she had a huge career. She was a DA and an attorney general and, you know, a prosecutor, and she did it all. And then she runs for the first time for the U.S. Senate and wins. And she becomes the 4th or 5th black senator since Reconstruction. And she looks like that. Barack Obama, though he didn't win on his first run for the U.S. Senate, he won the second time. He looks like that. He was the 3rd senator, black senator, since Reconstruction. He's biracial. She's biracial. He has a sister named Maya. She has a sister named Maya. What is that? What is that? What is that? What is that? What is it? So I find that very interesting, to say the very least. It's certainly worth discussing. Very, you know. And then she does, what, 2 years in the Senate and runs for president? Barack does 2 years in the Senate, runs for president, wins. So is she going to win? I don't know. But that leads me into another topic I want to talk to you before we get to that, because I have video. And that is the uneducated black voter. Black people need to sat the fuck down. Sat. Do you understand? Sat. Because we're just not understanding. I'm seeing all these Republicans for Trump, or black Republicans for Trump. They're the worst amongst us. And you know, there's a tribe. I don't know what country it's in or what, because I don't have the knowledge. But it's Mau Mau. And I saw this lady. She was saying, because they've been colonized, and it was the way of this tribe of people to, when you interacted with the colonizer, or if they captured you or something like that, you were not to give them any information about your people. Any act of that was punishable by death. And I just thought, I like that. I like that. I like that. I can respect it. I understand it. You understand? Because we are the one people on the planet that you can always pick one of us off. to infect the rest. We never hear any Arab uttering somebody's a sellout. We don't hear it. Tell me when you've heard it. Tell me. Well, tell me you didn't. We never hear the Asian, so-and-so's a sellout. We never see anybody selling the Asians out. Any Asian of any stripe, be any ease, Japanese, Chinese, just any ease, all eases. We don't see it. We don't hear of it. It doesn't happen. And you just go down all the cultures. You don't have sellouts. We are the ones who sell each other out. And that brings me back to the importance, or the add a better word, but I don't have it now. Just the total wrong way to go that it was to integrate with this white devil. Because think about it. You have a house, you're a white devil. I have a house. You have a mansion, I have a mansion. So what? You come over and burn my mansion down. I rebuild my mansion and you burn it down again. Then I come over to your mansion and then I march and fight and struggle to live in your house. To live in your house. That's exactly what Black people have done in this nation. You've always heard me say, everything that Martin did was exactly the fucking wrong thing to do. God love him. He thought what he was doing was the right thing at the right time. But we also have evidence that he knew it was some bullshit, because we have his quote saying, I fear that I've integrated my people into a burning house. Do you understand? We're the only ones that sell us out. And so we are the least educated. I'm more disgusted as time goes on of how, like, there's no way I would have a child and they wouldn't grow up knowing that the white man is the devil and all of their crimes since before they were born. That just would not happen, because that's what my parents did. They let me know. These people are the devil. This is what they've done. They're not your friend. Do not befriend them. Don't bring them home. Don't. They planted the seeds. They gave me the blueprint. So when I got out in life, I saw it. This is what they were telling me. We have it. This is what they were telling me. So nothing was a surprise when I walk into my first job interview. I'm aware of the dynamic that's there. I don't just walk in because this white person is looking at me and smiling that everything's good. No, I'm ready with a shank. You understand? I know what this is. I know the dynamic. I know. But these kids today don't know. Because their parents don't fucking know. And the ones that do ain't saying shit. Then you got big mama and grandmama that ain't saying shit. Because they afraid. The worst thing that ever happened to African people after slavery was integration with this white devil. Because it is from this that you get your sellout class. Wanting to be seen in favor with massa. We weren't concerned with that before integration. Just weren't concerned. We had our own. We didn't need them. So why did we want to integrate? Nobody else did. The Japanese said, get the fuck out of here. The natives said, nah, we don't want it. We're the only dumbass people ever in the history of humanity that have wanted to join with the very fucking terrorists that terrorizes them. This would be on scale now after all of the killing and murdering that we see going on in Gaza every single day. If now, after it's all over, the Palestinians now want to come and live in Israel. No. They want to come back and rebuild Gaza? I get it. But don't give me they're loving up on the people that just bombed their fucking thousands of their family members to death. Because Arabs have big families. When I say thousands, I'm talking about one family, like maybe two, three at the most. That's thousands of three families. They big families. You go to an event of theirs, there's like 150 people there. That's just the family. The guests haven't arrived yet. That's just the family. 150 people, just the family. That's just the family. Big families, Arabs, big families. And so they're well connected. Well connected. We're the only people. But I digress. So we have this advent now of these black Republicans. I can't really be that mad at them because it doesn't really matter. Because if, as I know, there's only one party that's just playing good cop, bad cop. And as Hitler said, if you did your homework, the video that I put up, and I put the link, what makes it so extraordinary is because none of his speeches are in English, have been translated to English. But now, through AI, they have translated it to English. It's called Freedom or Slavery. It's so important that you see and hear that damn video. My God. And they swear to you that every word it's not been altered at all. This is his words. And what makes it important, why I'm citing it now, because the point I'm making about it. So one of the things that he says, this is one of the things that he was dealing with in Germany and Eastern Europe, was this these Zionist ass so-called Jewish people, whatever that is, because we're the Israelites. We're the chosen people of God from the scriptures, the Quran and Torah, because you kind of got to be African. All the prophets were. So not understanding how you come in from somewhere white where it don't just there's snow and no sun and you suddenly a holy person, not understanding. But what one of the dynamics that he was dealing with, because I've always wondered, well, he didn't just jump up and go, I hate them for no reason. That's just like when Bush after 9/11 said, he said, why do you think they attacked us? He said, they hate our freedom. That's it? That's all you got? That wasn't enough for me. You know, and as it turned out, they hadn't done it anyway. That was an inside job. But let's just say they had done it. That's the reason you got? So we were never told, all of us grew up hearing and seeing an image of this man wearing a swastika and doing the salute and his troops and all that stuff. And that's all we know. And there was supposedly some Holocaust. But why? 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 Because even if his reasons are bad or just fucked up, there's a why. Why? Police get you into an interview room, interrogation room after a crime. They go, why'd you do it? It's always why. Why? Why? And this speech tells you why. And one of the dynamics that he was dealing with, one of the things he proclaims, is that there is only one party. They give you the semblance of two parties, but they're actually acting in concert with each other. One comes to power and the other one plays opposition. After that, that one gets out of power, the other one comes to power, and this one plays opposition. But there's only one party and you never get what the fuck you want. Do you understand? I'm surprised the video is on YouTube. Surprised. But as it should be. Because there's all tons of shit of Hitler on YouTube and everywhere else. But it's all in German. And no, but I don't speak no German. I don't need to. There's no reason for me to learn German. I don't need to. I don't need to. I don't need to. I don't need to. But there it is. So I digress to say that it doesn't really matter, really, these black Republicans. You just want it running from one shitty hole to the next shitty hole. You still got a shitty hole, though. So You didn't do anything. You didn't do anything. It's like when somebody steps on the gas to go around you, and now we're at the light. You didn't go nowhere. You did all that, wasted about $5 worth of gas. You ain't go nowhere. So what did it mean? For what? For what? But we as a people, we don't understand the power of unity. Nobody's willing to exercise it, to trust it, to trust it. You know, I was watching, because I always tell you, creation is not for decoration. Creation is information. And I was watching something on ants. You know, there's a whole chapter of the Quran called the ants. But this was, it looked like a python or a boa constrictor, one of those really big, impressive snakes that had somehow wandered into where the ants were. And like that, they were on his ass. No running, no division. Everybody was on it. That snake was no match at all for these ants. At all. Strength in numbers. Strength in numbers. When we look at bees, you know, there was a beautiful video I saw many years ago when I first started even being online. And it was somewhere in Europe, I think, because the steering wheel was on the wrong side. And it was one of them little toy-looking cars. But there was a fucking sea of bees on this fucking car. And they weren't going nowhere till they had that queen. Nowhere. And bees won't attack you. People don't know that. You see bees start running, screaming. Bees will not attack you, everybody. Do you know that it is Islamic law that we're not to kill a bee? Allah has ordained you don't kill a bee. Don't. So if it's ordained for you not to kill a thing, that thing is not going to kill you. It's not going to attack you. Just go about your business. If you see a bee, just go about your business. They're not going to attack you. They won't. Even if they land on you, they won't attack you. Don't worry. You get stung is because your ass was acting like a fool. It was you. It was you. But again, there's that strength in numbers, that unity that we don't have. If we would educate ourselves about the process of voting and make that something that is as natural as getting a fucking pair of Jordans, then you could break through their one-party system and really have a second party that we funded the candidate. Because remember, we're worth $2 trillion, $2.5 trillion or something like that. Expendable income, just African people in this bitch every year, annually, expendable income. We could fund our own candidate, and this is what we want, and you're right. We could already have taken this nation, taken it. And even before you even just get to just us, you must remember that there's us, then you have Caribbean, you have Africans that are coming here, and brothers and sisters from the UK, and things like that. We could have taken this place, taken it. We give over our $1 trillion music. We give over our style, our fashion, everything. We give it over. We let them make money on us. If we all got off YouTube and Twitter and Facebook and anything else tomorrow, it would go over. Because there's nobody more entertaining on the planet and interesting than us. This would be like a white church service if it was just white people on social media. That's it. That and probably just some hate, you know, the racist bullshit. But that's it. It's us. African people make up over 80% of the world's population. White people are an extreme minority. And yet they're exercising global control. How is this? How is this? You know, I was watching Candace Owens, who I'm trying to find something to like about her. She's such a contradiction to me. She's a cute woman. Dare I almost say, I'm just going to cute. I can't get to the other one now. Don't press me. Yeah, just not ready to go there. She's cute, but is she? Because all this up here never moves. It's frozen out. It never moves. This doesn't move. No, we don't get a frown. We don't get a wrinkle. We get nothing. It's just all frozen, solid. That's it. She just does a lot of smizing and this and with her eyes. I'm trying to find a reason to fucking like her. Why did I mention her? Because she was on Piers Morgan, and there was some Zionist demon up there because of what they've done to Hezbollah in Lebanon, with blowing up the walkie-talkies and the pagers, just mass blowing up people. So like all of us have a cell phone or a tablet, but it's made by these fucking stinking people from Israel, and the shit is a bomb. They can just set it off anytime they want, and that's what they did, in case you don't know what happened. But anyways, the Zionist bastard that was up there defending all of this, I just thought, yet again, he's sitting up there in probably an expensive suit. Because he's, I don't want to say he's Arab, he's a white devil, but it's hard to just, anyways, he had the little accent. I just thought, the fuckers who are starting shit are sitting someplace in a nice suit. It's somebody else that's going out and actually pulling the trigger and throwing the bombs and, you know, doing all the shit. You know, this country starts a war. Joe Biden is just sitting in the White House, monitoring it from the Situation Room and shit. But he's not in any danger. And I'm sick of that. I'm sick of people being allowed to feel safe. Danger can be an effective tool. Fear is glorious. It can be used, and it should. Because what humanity is allowing white people to traipse all over everybody. The only thing that allows them to keep on is that nobody else is putting up an exact reaction, an exact mirror of their bullshit. It's time they had a slice of their genocide pie that they've dished out to all humanity since they came from wherever the fuck they came from. Because that's all they've done. That's all their history. That's all we know. The lying, the hiding of history. We don't know the truth about anything at all. Everything is a lie. Everything is a lie. Everything. It reminds me of Romans 3:4. Let God be the truth and every man a liar. I love that. I love that. You know, the best antidote for anybody is a taste of their own medicine. You hit me, I hit you back. Now we good. Fuck, two wrongs don't make a right. Two wrongs make it all right. Every bit of it. Every bit of it. Every bit of it. Because you're not going to do that no more. You won't. You won't. So all of humanity is being given this peace is the best way bullshit, and it's not. It will be when we violence them into non-violence. You see, because everything is violence with them. Everything. Everything. In fact, Jake Duger was speaking on this same program I'm telling you about with this Candace Owens person. And the guy on the end, they went like 20 minutes, half hour damn near, with Jake Duger trying to claim he was part of the violence against Trump. And when this guy on the end finally gets to speak, first thing he comes with is violence. And Jinx is like, see, Now who's leading with violence? Who's, you know, like I'm sitting here condemning violence and this, I mean, you know, but this is the way of white people. They are violent. They are Dr. King even said, America is the greatest purveyor of violence on the planet Earth. Dr. King said that. I wasn't here yet. I wasn't here yet. Dr. King said that. So nothing has changed, as I said before. So we're not that obsessed with these Trump people, but, and at the end of the day, none of them make enough difference to that's just more division for black people, because they don't make enough difference to make up any margins. They don't have enough numbers of black Republicans in any state to make up a margin to affect the numbers of that state or that county. I cite for you Dearborn, Michigan. Highest population of Muslims in America is in Michigan. Joe Biden literally won by the number of Muslims that are in Michigan at the time that he won. So if you don't get the Muslim vote in Michigan, you don't win the fucking vote, period. Because they vote as one. Do you understand? One. And so Malcolm was saying to us, go and watch his speeches about voting. He was saying if black people could come together, we could determine the margins. He said white people don't agree on anything. That's why it's always 50-50. You see any of their polls, it's 50-50. Malcolm was saying this. I haven't even arrived on the earth yet. Malcolm was saying this. They don't agree on anything. You look at their polls, it's always 50-50. Malcolm said this. And if Negroes, he said, could understand that and come together, you could make up the margins. It's still true. There's not enough white people to elect anybody. Do you understand? And because they're dying off at a faster rate that they're being born, Allahu Akbar, Alhamdulillah. That's why they're trying to pick off black people and Latinos, but mainly black folks, because many Latinos are kind of walking over there willingly, very quietly, you know, very quietly, very stealth. But they try and get black people because they're trying to get enough so it begins to be a margin for them. And all they are is hate. They're just the white people that are out of the closet with their hate. No, we don't want the niggers to vote. Move the fucking voting booth. Change the rules of voting. No voting day. On and on. They're just out of the closet hate. And Malcolm warned us about the white liberal, that they're just as bad as the right-wing right-wing conservative. Malcolm said this before I came to earth. It's still true. Because white people are the same. They're the same evil. It doesn't matter if they're left or right. They're still white. Left or right, still white. Same evil. Same. 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 So if we can understand as a block that we could come together, but Christianity now, you have to add Christianity to this. Because we're the only population in this country that our population amongst us is majority Christian. Wonder where that might have come from. Wish I knew. I'll have to study it because there's no way I have a clue. I wouldn't know. There's no way I could know. So I'll just have to ponder it and get back to you in a week. Do you understand? I mean, the old church of yore used to be a place of black pride, black politics, black economics, information, understanding, warning, and wisdom. We used to fund our own churches, so the pastor and the deacons served that community. That's where you met and plotted and planned on this white devil for sit-ins and whatever else you were going to do. Try and go to a black church now and say, we want to plan a sit-in from here. They'll run you out with security. We saw this with New Era Detroit. Remember, they walked into the church and you saw the force that they were the elders got up, these young people coming in and holding them accountable. Like, how come you driving up in fucking Rolls Royces and shit and this community is blight? And you saw how they acted on them. Fuck the black church. I said it, and they can call me. Every single one of them has been taken over by this white devil. I cite for you. When Bush came into office, stole the election in 2001, or 2000, I'm sorry. Remember, he was coming with a faith-based whatever else he added to that. Black people ate that shit up like bees to fucking honey or moth to a flame. They all get a kickback. Every one of them. In fact, I probably don't have it. Let me see. I think I don't have it. Roland Martin's fat ass. Beware of him. He gets a check from the DNC. I've spoken on this in the past. I know it to be true. All you have to do is watch. I've always told you, notice what is right in front of you. If you want to hide something, put it right out in the open. No one will see it. You don't need a vase. You are a safe. You don't need to lock anything up. You don't need a combination. You don't need it. You don't need it. You don't need it. You don't need it. Put it right out in the open, and no one will see it. That is the truth. That is the truth. There he was. A black Republican was on some news show, probably Fox. But I'm a fair-minded man. The truth is the only thing that matters to me. That's it. What is the truth of it? That's it. So she's a Republican, and she needs to die, but not yet. But he was, the whole thing was Roland Martin, Burns, black Republican or something like that. But everything she said was the truth. And he kept stopping it. Wait, and I know she didn't just say, I know she didn't. You know how he gets very... We also know that he's a plant because look at some of the titles of his videos. You could never name your video that and get away with it and not get a strike and all that shit on YouTube. Wait, you guys, my ear is doing that thing where it plugs up and I hear myself in stereo. Yeah, he's definitely a plant. And he's one of these, one of those organizations, one of the pledges people, you know, the fraternity and shit. Beware of all black people with that shit. Because they have unity. And they don't do a fucking thing for black people. Not a damn. If you one of them AKAs or any of that, I don't even know all the letters of all the shit. Male and female, fuck you. You're a piece of shit. I said it. You could see me. You could see me. There's thousands, hundreds of thousands of them, you guys. They talked about, well, I don't want to get off on that too far. Let me finish it with this girl. She was talking about how Kamala was, she was saying, she came on there, she called the Trump campaign after he made the statement at the black journalist thing. She said the same thing I said, essentially, when Trump was saying, you know, I didn't know that Kamala was black. But it's the way he says it. You know, you can always know a racist when they're not used to saying just the word black. They have some, it just comes out weird. Just the very word black. And he is black. As if he's describing something foreign, you know. It's a dead giveaway. But what he said was the truth. I didn't know Kamala was black, he said. He says, I knew her for years, but not closely or anything like that. I guess this was before her Senate and presidential VP and all the bullshit. Donald Trump knows a lot of people. A lot of people. You're a billionaire, you know people, you know. And it's a very small fraternity, so to speak, or alumni, or, you know. Anyways, and he said, and she always represented herself not as black. And then I hear all of a sudden she turned black. He was doing a very horrible job of white-splaining what is the truth. I hope I have it. I have a video of her being introduced at some point by the guy that speaks like this. I speak like this, you know what I'm talking about. It's not a very good one. That wasn't a very good Indian accent. But you know what the fuck I mean. Damn it. And, well, let's just let you see it. Here she is. But the girl said she had contacted the campaign because she said, if it sounds racist when he says it, then let me, a full black woman, she was dark and sister, let me come on here and say it. And she was like, because she is one of those, whatever Kamala is, the fucking fraternity. She's one of that very one. And she was like, she don't mention that. She don't wear the colors. She don't do nothing to rep black people. But before she got into office, or VP, she was, you know, pork chops with hot sauce on them and all dancing the line and, you know, just everything. And all of a sudden, she's suddenly not. And it was the truth, because we all were hit by this sudden Southeast Asian Indian bullshit. We were like, the fuck? What? So here she is. Here's the evidence, as it were. Where am I at? We just need the introduction. That's all we need. Hear this.
And so, ladies and gentlemen, it is my true, distinct pleasure to introduce the first senator, and I'm not going to say this, the first senator of Indian American heritage in the history of U.S. Senate.
Thank you very much.
That's all we need. When did that happen? Just like Obama was black when he was running. And then when he won, he's biracial. All the white bitches were saying. He's biracial. Now he's biracial. He was just a nigga when he was running. And now suddenly he's biracial. You see. I guess I won't belabor us then. I guess we'll go into, I want you to see some of her sister, because one of my issues with her, and I need to say this is very important. Don't feel like you have to vote, everybody. Don't be browbeaten by other black people who say you gotta vote, people, because people die so you can vote. But they wanted us to have something to fucking vote for. Do you understand? There's nothing to vote for. Nothing changes for your life because of fucking Kamala. Do you understand? She was asked, there was some brothers. The camera angle, I feel like it was 3 brothers. I know the one asking the question close to the camera was a brother, and I feel like the one next one was the Afro. There was 3 brothers potentially and she's sitting across from them, and he's asked her, like, with so many black men, I forget his question. It was brilliant, and that's why I can't quote it. But what the bitch say is the same thing. She can't do shit for black people. And as I've said to you a million times, you don't have any first, everybody. So when February comes around, they talk about the first African-American, you throw that shit out. You tell your children, there is no first black person to do anything in this bitch. Because when they do, it will be on behalf of African people. If you're going to go there and do exactly what the fuck white people do, then you're not a first. We're waiting on the first. If I'm the first black president, Barack Obama, God love him. Listen, I knew we weren't going to get shit, everybody, but you have to know where the environment in which you live. I just needed the image of that black family coming off Air Force One and the motorcade and him and they saying Mr. President and hearing the fucking hail to the chief and shit. Just give me the stagecraft. The president said today, and you look at the TV and it's him. That was enough for me. Because I'm not under any illusion that after 233 years of this fucking white supremacist bullshit, that there's something going to go, oh, we'll just change and give up our power now. Well, it's fine. The niggers can have it. You go ahead. We don't mind. No, I was under no illusion. And I worked very hard to get him elected. I was a precinct captain. Very hard. So, such is the case with this Kamala person. Do you understand? Nothing changes for you. If I'm the president, then you celebrate in the streets. You celebrate until you drop. There is the first one. Because I will be there on behalf of my people, as I should be. And so I can still give everybody else the shit that they deserve. They're getting shit else. But my very first executive orders, fuck Congress and their mama. My first executive order is reparations for every fucking African person in this bitch. So everybody out there claiming I'm mixed, you don't get a check, bitch. Stand to the left. Do you understand? Stand to the left. Reparations, goddammit. You no longer have to ever pay tax. You don't need to fill out a tax form ever. You don't pay tax anymore in this bitch because that's part of your reparations package. No more tax. Right, we're over that. You can no longer be pulled over for small infractions by police. Tail lights. Maybe you could be pulled over for speeding, but we'd have to see a radar picture that you were going at least 20 miles over the speed limit. Police aren't allowed to interact with us at fucking all. Unless we're really committing an actual crime and somebody's life is in danger. Oh, then and only then, and with pure evidence, are they allowed to engage with us. No more police interactions. That would be part of the reparations package. There would be special housing built for those of us who don't want land. Oh, my ear, you guys. For those of us who don't want land, there'd be special housing built for you and you do not pay any fucking rent. Certainly not anything over maybe $50, $150 at tops. I could go on and on and on. This fucking country owes us. And just like they can sign shit for these fucking people who don't know if they're a man or a woman, and they can sign it for these people who claim to be some kind of special Jew, and their shit happened on another fucking continent, not in this country, but yet they run this country. Again, go listen to Freedom or Slavery by Hitler, and you'll understand one of the reasons why he wanted them out of Eastern Europe is because they become an infection, according to him. I'm quoting him. He's saying, I'm paraphrasing him. That's essentially what he was saying. Like, they come together, they're united, they keep their finances together, they stick together, they cover one another, all that. They infect your entertainment, your banks, your government. They were doing the same thing. The same thing. That's why Bibi Satan Yahoo can come here and stand in the chamber of Congress and address joint houses. Because of exactly what they were doing in Germany and Eastern Europe. So when we hear that they've been run out of everywhere that they went just because they were Jew, no, what did you do there, bitch? Because even when I was little, you come home and you tell my grandmama something happened, what did you do? They always checking to see if you got dirty hands too before they act. What did you do? You understand? Or my sister them go up there and fight somebody. Especially my older sister. She always ready to fight, y'all. She always carries empty perfume bottles in the bottom of her purse just in case she had to fight you. Anyways, but they would make sure you don't have dirty hands. You see? Because I always want to know the why. Why? Well, why? And the only people that ever took them in and said, do what you need to do and gave them position and everything were the Muslims. They are a special evil. A special evil. We need to be very careful and look very closely at this so-called Holocaust that went on. And we need to fully understand the motivation behind the Nazi Germans and their actions against these people. You understand? Yeah. You know, we have to be very careful and understand that, because that is very key. You know, anyways, this girl was telling the truth. So, so one of my main indictments with Kamala Harris is the fact that she has a white husband who also is a Zionist. And her sister, that's why I used the thumbnail that I did for this, has a black husband. Her sister is a lawyer, and her husband is a lawyer. Very handsome brother, all of that. So, and she went to, I know she went to Berkeley and something else, but Kamala went to Howard. You couldn't find your brother? Your sister didn't even go to Howard and she found a brother. You feel me? You didn't want a brother. I'm looking at my tab, y'all. What the fuck? Oh my God, I can't. I must have passed it. Let me go back. Or maybe it's behind that. There it is. Yeah, let me just make sure. No, that's it. Bernie Sanders, greatest candidate for president of the United States ever to run, because he's the only one that would have actually did the shit that he said. He meant it then, he means it now. We have 40 years of him saying the same shit. Wait, y'all, my ear is really doing this thing, dude. Like, why is this happening to me? Just so you can see the contrast. Wait. Okay, get it done without that. Okay, let me bring you in. Oh, and I need to come to you guys' comments. Let me see what's happening. Okay. See this.
Miss Maya Harris.
Miss Maya Harris. Welcome.
Thank you. Hello, good evening. And thank you, Ananya, for that wonderful.
Now, you see that? You go, that's a sister. We don't know if you look at it real close, she mixed with something, but that's a sister.
introduction, and thank you all for inviting me to be here today. I have to say, it's always exciting for
I
me
also
to be
thought-
in a room full of budding attorneys.
I also thought about Tia and Tamara, because they're another example of this. Tia has got sister written all over her. You just see her. There you go. That's a sister right there. Tamara, God love her. I do. I love Tamara, but no, no, no. And I've had the unfortunate experience of seeing her husband up close and in person, because the day that I went to the Real, Tamara was not there that day. And they're like, and our special guest is Adam. Oh my God, I can't. And it's just even more, not that I needed it, it was just even more, the word won't come to me today. It was just more verification. Like, why the fuck are you with this dude? For what? He is ugly as fuck, dude. Like, I mean, he looks way older than her. It's nothing about him where you would like, you could usually, most males, if they're being honest, will tell you, you could look at another male and know, could he get some females? He could probably get a female. Yeah, he could probably get one. Yeah, you know. And then some you look at him and he can't get no females. Can't. Nah. And this dude can't. And if he does, it's a vastly different woman than Tamara. Vastly different. But I mentioned them too because here's Tia, and she and her dude aren't together anymore. Corey, I think. Very handsome brother. I love their look together. I know I did at least one piece on them. I remember. And did they have more than one kid at that time or not? Anyways, beautiful kids, all of that. And it just was right. And then you look at Tamara, you're like, what the fuck? So this is that for me. Because she has a black husband, this Maya.
But even more so in a room full of budding South Asian lawyers, I have to say, I do not think I have seen so many of you in one place ever before.
But she said budding South Asian lawyers. Damn it, my ear. We're not going to be able to go on too long, you guys. I can't control this. I don't know what's happening.
For my entire life, because it certainly did not look like this when I.
But you see, she has that sort of chipper thing, like Kamala a little bit. It's not as annoying. But it's there. You know, it's there. Kamala's always doing this. This is her, and this. I mean, I don't know if I want this with Trump or this with her. And the swallowing and the nodding. Right? And so in order to get what we want, and she doesn't fucking answer the question, like, I can't. But just see a little bit of her sister. I just wanted you to get a flavor of her. I don't want to drag you.
I went to law school, so I am really excited to be here. Thank you. And of course, it's always
And I guess they only do center parts. Whatever, I'm over it.
a treat for me to come back to Stanford Law School, where I made some of my best friends in life. I met my incredible husband, and I began my own journey toward realizing my dreams of becoming a lawyer. And I came to law school not just wanting to be a lawyer. I came here wanting to be a civil rights lawyer. My mother was a graduate student and an activist at UC Berkeley in the 19.
How is your sister, a whole civil rights lawyer, a whole civil rights lawyer, and you can't do shit for black people? Not understanding. Oh.
1960s, and she raised my sister Kamala and me on stories about Medgar and Marshall and Martin and Malcolm. Her civil rights activism, the marches, the debates, the sit-ins, the student meetings that form our modern day memories of the civil rights movement, those were the frequent topic of dinner conversation in our house. And for me, the civil rights movement—
Something to honor here. It's just her and Kamala. We don't got no other siblings. How proud am I if I raise 2 daughters or 2 sons, but 2 daughters who both become lawyers? That they hit the lottery. Like, that's parenting awards right there. I mean, you know, I'll let you see a little bit more of this. I'm going to go to the restroom and then we'll.
It wasn't just a lesson at dinner time. It was something that I was living every day, because even then I knew that I was a direct beneficiary of Brown v. Board of Education, of busing, of voting rights, and of affirmative action. When Berkeley became the first public school system to voluntarily desegregate its public schools through two-way busing, Kamala and I were among the first little Black and brown kids to get on those buses and go to elementary school. So by the time that I came here to Stanford as a law student with firm roots in both the South Asian and Black communities, I understood very clearly how law could help shape the social playing field and how lawyers could actually be agents for social change. And that's who I knew I wanted to be. And so I spent 3 wonderful years here at Stanford Law School. But when I graduated from Stanford, while my heart was with lawyering for social change, my depleted bank account had other ideas. In a paradox that I am sure is familiar to more than a few of you, I couldn't afford to follow my dreams of going to a job in some civil rights nonprofit organization. I was the single parent of a primary.
I won't torture you anymore with her. It's called Maya Harris keynote address at NAS You See It conference, if you'd like to see it. It's only 18 minutes. She spoke for less than 20 minutes. So it was just a vignette, really. But I wanted you to see that because all the reasons I expressed. Now, I'd like for you to see her husband. And they're trying to broil him up in some sort of a scandal that I don't have command of the knowledge enough right now to tell you what the what it is. Where is he? So, and this would be Kamala's brother-in-law, just like Michelle had Craig up in the White House. Thank you very much, because you know her brother's name is Craig. So Craig Nim was in the White House. So this brother's, his last name is West. I forget. Got him. Okay, let's bring you guys in. Wait, what's the name of it? Oh, okay. Because a lot of people I don't think are really aware that her sister looks like that, and she got a Black husband. So I want to be sure that folks understand.
"35 years ago, in my first week at law school, I met a new classmate, Maya Harris. We became best friends, but the way Kamala tells the story, We'd already fallen in love by graduation day. And when Maya and I married, I not only gained a life partner I love, a daughter I adore, and a mother-in-law I revered, someone I affectionately called Mother Harris, I also gained a sister I cherish, Kamala. Now, Maya, Kamala, and I each pursued different legal careers, but we were motivated by the same values: a belief in equal opportunity, a yearning for fairness, a passion for justice. Values Mother Harris taught those two little girls, values that powered Kamala's public service from the very beginning. You know, one of Kamala's very first cases in the district attorney's office, it involved a woman, an innocent woman, wrongfully arrested in a police raid. It was a Friday afternoon, and the courthouse was shutting down for the weekend. And look, most prosecutors, they would have gone home and dealt with the matter the following Monday. But not Kamala. You see, my sister-in-law knew that if the judge didn't see this woman that afternoon, she'd spend the entire weekend in jail. And Kamala, she wondered, does this woman work weekends? Would she lose her job? Does she have young kids at home? Who'd feed those kids? So Kamala pleaded for the judge to return to the bench and to hear the matter. And the judge agreed. And within minutes, that woman was released back to her family that night.
You know, when I hear stories like this about her, I'm like, who are they talking about? Like, you know, who are they talking about? It's only less than a minute left. We'll just hear the rest of it.
Now, it may seem small, but that's what it means to stand up for justice. That's what it means to stand for the people.
I remind you,
and as Kamala says, when you know what you stand for, you know what to fight for. And look, believe me when I tell you, as a sister, a daughter, an auntie, and a mother, I've seen Kamala fight for her family. As district attorney, attorney general, U.S. Senator, and Vice President of the United States, I have watched her fight in the halls of power for those who have no voice there. And as president, I know she'll fight for you. She'll fight for all of us. Because, friends, when Kamala fights, we win.
You know, that's her tagline. And when we fight, we win. I'm over it. I forgot his name again. Damn it. But just that's her brother-in-law, and I showed you her sister, and then that dude was the sister's husband, and they're both lawyers. And I've told you, start telling your kids you want a law degree. They don't get to decide what they want to be. That's one of the other cultural mistakes we're making. Let me see your comments. Is that we're allowing kids to, we're asking them what they want to do and what they want to be. Fuck that. Asians tell their kids what they gonna do. Africans tell their kids what they gonna do. What's not going to be accepted. Do you understand? Why aren't we doing that? Why? Why? You tell your kids what they're going to be. And a law degree, you can do anything. I wish I got a business degree, but if I had known and I majored in business law, But if I had known, if somebody said you should get a law degree, I would have tried to go to law school, because my passions would have been quenched, because I'm someone who's very good with law. I read the fine print of everything also, you know, I'm one of these people. So I would be I probably would have been an outstanding lawyer, outstanding. And because I'm not materialistic, my people come to me, you don't got the money, don't worry about it, I take care of your case for free, or for damn near nothing, or whatever you got, you feel me? Like, those two things married together would have made me powerful and effective for our people. Because when you have a law degree, you can go into anything. Most of the people you see on television doing anything have a law degree. Not entertainment. I'm saying, like, you know, politics, anybody that you see that's anything to do with politics. So they're just a surrogate or some bullshit. Or, you know, any of these people in Congress, you know, the president and the vice president, all these people have law degrees, everybody. Anybody you see on the news, anchor people, all that, all law degrees. Law degree, law degree, law degree. Law degree. Tell your children. And if you're listening to me now, fuck, and I'm hearing me too loud. What is this? Ya Allah. And if you're listening to me in California, know this. In the state of California, you can intern. You don't got to go to law school. You can intern at a law firm. I don't know the amount of time. You can intern at a law firm. And then you can take the bar. You pass it, poof, you're a lawyer. If I wasn't moving to Africa, dude, that would be what I would do. Pursue in life. I would be a lawyer. I would be a lawyer. In fact, just a little side story. When I was in Gambia, Samba took me to one of our brothers who has his own law firm. And let me see if I have his card. Young brother, too. Young brother. And it was just, I mean, he has his own law firm. And it was especially a treat for me because he was telling me his story. But what I also appreciate, but this is what you get from Africans anyway, whatever they do, they don't act like that. You know, here in America, somebody does something prestigious, you know, they're a manager even at a fucking company or a lawyer or something. They're very, that's what you're gonna, they lead with that. And this brother was none of that. I sat in his office, Samba and I, and he was like an old friend of mine, or a young nephew or something. He's sitting behind his desk. When I went in, we gave salams. He stood up, blah blah blah. But it wasn't like I've worked for a billion lawyers. I know how that feels, and this just wasn't that. It was just so laid back, man. Yeah, this is his card here. You probably won't be able to see it. What can I do? The law offices of Malik H.B. Jallo. This is his card. Come on, catch up. I got a delay going on, y'all. I can't see it yet. Anyways. And why did I mention him? All knowledge is with Allah. It will come back to me, inshallah. Oh my God, you guys. If you could see my driver's license picture, you'd be like, that is not the Jedi. Because this picture was taken like over 20 years ago. But I'm one of these people, I have a perfect driver record, so I never go to the DMV for anything. It's all by mail. I don't know how anybody see this and go, oh, that's him. I can't. I have to show it to you sometime. I have to just blot out the number and all that stuff. But it's really a sight for sore eyes. Okay, I'll just put this wallet together later. I'm over it. I don't want to deal with it. This is my unpretentious wallet, by the way. It's washable. It's Velcro. This one's worn down. I have to get another one. But I keep it consistent. Anyways, let me see who's here. Cheryl Bryant, a constant gardener. What's up, Cheryl? And let me say to you guys, my story I was telling you about our sister at the beginning. If you would like to do anything to help her, you can either put it on the GoFundMe. The link is under my video, or you can put it on the Cash App. And I will see to it that she gets it, every single dime of it. That I promise you. It's dire, you guys. It's dire. And you know, here I sit in California where we've been having 118-degree days, but you know, like the last couple days, she's in North Carolina. It was raining, you know. It was raining, and okay, it says it's 85 degrees right now on my phone. I don't know how true that is. We've been cooling off a little bit, so it's probably accurate. But you know, and you know, she's got no child care because she's I respect this. Like, she doesn't let her, she homeschools my godson, you know, and she just doesn't allow him to be exposed to a lot of things. So he's always with her. And so he's been through this, been going through this as well, you know, and you wonder if he really knows what's happening. You know, back in March, she broke her toe. I was on the phone with her when she fell. It was just a random freakish fall, man. And she broke her toe. And I mentioned that because, you know, when she was trying to get out of her apartment, it was very difficult for her, you know. And she's got family in New York. She's got brothers that won't help her. They're just selfish. Son, it's been a minute. Good to see you, Queen. And a shout out to Don as well. Let me just shout everybody out and then I'll come back and read. J9, a big shout out to you. Miss Kiara, a big shout out to you. I don't know when you became Miss Kiara, but it's all good. Black Winter, a big shout out to you. Andrea, I'm over it. What's up, girl? Asia Lee, a shout out to you. Let me see, I don't want to miss any names. Iron Heat, a shout out to you. Oh, make sure, because sometimes these don't agree. You know, you have one thing on the software, then one thing on the phone, and something else on YouTube. So then it's ending. Let's see. Okay, this is pretty accurate. Okay, this is the software. Sean Scott, a big shout out to you. And a big shout out to you, Sean. You know I know. You know I know. You know I know. I love you and I thank you so much. My only frustration is I never see you and I don't get to meet you. And you are an angel. Thank you. You say, Jedi, what's good, Jedi? Salute to the melanated family in the chat. San, Jedi, we back. Peace to the chat from Blocked First. I don't know what Blocked First is, San. Yes, rest in power. Cheryl, you're shouting out, giving well wishes to Tito and the family. Iron Heat, good to see you. I thank you. Tell me who you are. I don't remember. The name is not familiar to me. Son, I've been missing you as well, Jedi. So happy to see again, and I like your new look. And Don is growing a beard as well. Really? Don't make me keep it. I might then. I might. There's times that I like I said, it's work. It's work. But I do like it because a lot of times I don't get my respect. People think I'm younger than I am. So I don't get my full respect. Sometimes I let my grays show. My grays are usually right in here, you guys. But all this is natural. My hair, I don't have no gray hair. I do get some in my nose, and that's it. That's the other reason I wanted to let it grow out, because I wanted to see where is it going to be gray? Where will it be gray? You know, I mean, I should have gray at 21. I'm over it. Wait. So I get my respect. I also feel just more powerful, more kingly, more masculine. I just feel I don't know the word. When I get it, I'll tell you. So it's, you know, I'm back and forth. And thankfully it's hair, so you can grow it and then you can shave it, and you grow it and shave it. You know? But I just was accidental. One day I went to shave and I go, you know, I'm just not going to shave. Let's just let it go. Yeah, the whisper. So I did, and here I am. Cheryl, Jedi looks like an ancient African biblical prophet with that turban, head wrap, and beard. He actually looks nice. Thank you, Cheryl. I appreciate that. Why am I struggling? Because I don't know if all this is on the phone. I'm over it. Okay, was it Cheryl? Thank you, Cheryl. Keeping my nephew in your prayers. I appreciate that. Oh, yeah. Thumbs up, everybody. Thank you, Andrea. Yeah, my moderators, y'all get on these people. Make sure to thumbs up, everybody. Otherwise, we don't get the algorithm, we can't grow. You know, it's like I was preaching at the beginning or somewhere in this talk about our lack of unity, you know? If we had the type of unity we're supposed to have, man, when this sister became homeless, I should have been like, don't worry about it. We'll just go to our people. They'll help us. I should be able to come to our people and say, look, one of our sisters is homeless with her 7-year-old child. Please help. And we should have been able to put her in a house or apartment, something like that. I can't talk about it. It makes me cry. He's really something, son. Oh, he's been here before. Like, he's so good. Like, he'll terrorize her, but I'm still finding my energy with him. You know, like this with my niece and nephews, I'm the boss. Like, I threaten them, they die. That's what happens. It's nothing. So this is my first experience. So I'm trying to approach it different. I mean, I was always a good uncle. Like, all my nieces and nephews love me. Like, I'm a good guy, you know. But you know, he has so much that makes you respect him. He's very forthright. He's very articulate, not just in language, but he's able to express himself just outright. The day the sister fell, and I was on the phone, and I could hear that there was, I think it was the superintendent that worked in her building, or the maintenance guy or something. And I guess she'd already, or I could hear him barely. And she was telling him what happened. Because now they were like, did you want us to call an ambulance? She was going to try to drive herself to the hospital. And anyway, so she was telling this guy what happened. And then my godson goes, Mom, are you going to tell everybody what happened? You don't have to tell everybody. I can't. He just, I mean, and then he's got me for a godfather. Like, I'd say everything that I feel. Like, this is not, I don't know how this is going to work. Yeah, but he's very, he's really something, y'all. SubhanAllah. And I guess I've shared a picture with you, son. But you know, I can't put him out there. He's really something. Cutest thing. My God. Oh, I need these. Why do I keep taking them off? I need them. No, Andrea. And I've already sent the death threats, because I do send death threats to my nephew. You know, I've sent skulls and bones and like all capitals death with exclamations. I'm over it. I'm just going to leave it alone. We're in a good place, so I don't know what's going on with him. You know, I don't know. You know, as I told him the last time, I was just joking, really. And I was like, you know, because I was just trying to express to him the importance of just like answer your phone or answer a text or something. I'm like, you know, now that you're a young man, I have to even consider you might be smashing. And that's why you're not calling me back. You feel me? Like, you know. And we had a good laugh at that. But I'm just saying, like, I don't know what this is. This is something else, you know. And you know, he went like 2 years damn near before I even went to Africa, because he was supposed to go with me. And then it was that whole thing. And it was just so, you know, when I got fed up with that, I texted him, I called him, texting, calling, and I got over it. Finally, I just sent him a text saying, you got 24 hours. If you can't call me in 24 hours, you are dead to me. There's no need to call me ever again. And he knows when I say something, I mean it. I don't give a fuck who you are to me. If I am special and I am worthy, but I give you the same respect that I give myself. So if you don't appreciate my presence, you don't appreciate me, then you're not worthy of me. And I'm special. You must have a velvet rope that you must come past to see me. I'm that special in a glass case with lighting. That's me. So if you can't take that, if you don't appreciate that, then puff, goodbye. And I'm very good at closing the doors. Boom, like I never knew you. Done. Because I don't waste time on the earth, and I love hard. And if you can't give me back what I'm giving you, then be gone. And I'm over you. I forget everything about you. Everything. Cheryl, you say, Jedi, I remember you had a very elderly friend that lived in that very same apartment complex with you. Uncle is still here. He's doing very well. Yeah, we've been back for a long time now. I just kept asking Allah to turn his heart, because one of the things Allah says to us in the Quran is that he is the turner of hearts. He's the turner of hearts. And so I would just ask Allah to turn his heart. Sometimes my camera alert will go off on my phone. I'll see him, you know, because he'll activate it when he walks past. Because I have it so I can protect him and me. I can see him, you know, just his door. And I just even see him on the camera. I just ask Allah, turn his heart, turn his heart, turn his heart. And one day he just spoke. And we've been good ever since. Allahu Akbar. Thank you, son, Frankie Beverly. I should be shot for this. No, just suspend my black card for about, okay, this is worth 2 weeks. It's Frankie Beverly. So that's 2 weeks. Could be 3. Yes, Frankie Beverly. Wow. And then I saw a video where they was playing dun, 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 dun. It was a whole football stadium. I really love you. They was playing it, and the DJ just shut it off, and the whole stadium knew the song. Allahu Akbar. Wow. Yeah, Rich Homie Quan too. Cheryl, James Earl Jones passed? Funny, because I was going to say to y'all, I was going to say now it's Tito and it's Frankie. Does anybody know of a third one? Because they always go in threes. And now you're telling me, I think I've heard about Rich Homie Quan. Like in the last 24 hours, maybe. But you telling me James Earl Jones? Do we have evidence on that, Cheryl? Don't maybe come to your house. Oh my God. James Earl Jones.
According to Wikipedia, James Earl Jones was an American actor.
I'm dead. He died on the 9th. James Earl Jones. Oh, damn it. Where'd it go? How old was he? Can I get it? 93. That was a special man. Do you know he was born with a speech impediment? He had a stutter. A stutterer became the most famous voice on earth. the voice of Darth Vader. The voice of Darth Vader. And Darth Vader has, they have these awards. I forget what they call them. I think it might be TV Land. Anyways, like he's the #1 villain ever, Darth Vader. Like ever. The #1 villain ever, Darth Vader. And the actor who was in the costume of Darth Vader was a guy by the name of David Prowse. He's from London, I think. British, tall guy, which was really interesting because Darth Vader had a very swaggering walk that I liked. I can do it even, but that walk was so, that's Darth Vader, dude, right there. But that voice was James Earl Jones. And this is a shock for me, man. I didn't know. Who told me this? Cheryl. I didn't know James Earl Jones was 93. I know he was up there, but I don't know how old I really thought he was. And those are 2 big ones, 3 big ones. No disrespect to Rich Homie Quan, but Rich Homie Quan. Frankie Beverly is what I need to say after that. That's like saying Michael Jackson, Madonna. I don't need to say shit else. It's done. I just told you everything you need to know. You know it already. And but these 3, Tito, Frankie, and James, my favorite, one of my cousins and one of my step cousins, Germani, in New York. This was in the 90s. I've been to New York many times since that, but this was in the 90s. I happened to be in New York, in Buffalo, and we put in The Return of the Jedi. And we were killing everybody because we were reciting. We know the movie. Like, I wrote the script. You understand? Like, I wrote it. All right. It wasn't Lucas. It wasn't Spielberg. It was me. All right. Look at the credits. You'll see the Jedi right there. It's there. Obviously, the movie was about me. It's Return of the Jedi. So that would tell you. But yeah, one of my favorite lines. Well, I have many, but I love how George Lucas developed the characters over time. So now, by the time we get to Return of the Jedi, this big arrival scene that they shoot, not this, this is when they used to do miniatures and stop motion camera stuff. They worked hard on those movies, man. The workmanship behind those movies is, those are talented people to the point of wizardry. Do you understand? Wow. Anyways, just the little LEDs they had to put for the Imperial Darth Vader's ship. That's real, Anyways, so by the time you turn into the Jedi, they would develop Darth Vader more, because in the first one, he's kind of clumsy. Like when he meets Leia and he's like, you're a part of a rebel alliance and you're a traitor and take her away. So even the audio was just, the costume was a little ashy. By the time you get to Return of the Jedi, he's shiny. And Darth Vader was it, dude. And the first scene we have is there's a cutaway that you see one of the Imperial soldiers. He goes, inform the commander that Lord Vader's shuttle has arrived. Hold on, you guys. Oh my God, my ear, I can't do this. And the thing lands. Darth Vader comes down the ramp very dramatically. and steps off the thing that the ramp. And of course, everybody's terrified. The whole, like, a lot of the Imperial soldiers have lined up because it's Darth Vader arriving. It's like it's me. Anyways, and the guy goes, Lord Vader, this is an unexpected pleasure. We're honored by your presence. You may dispense with the pleasantries, Commander. I'm here to put you back on schedule. That's James Earl Jones. Wow. 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 And then one other one. This is when we really understand Darth Vader's full breadth as a military leader, like the admiral of the fleet and all of it, sort of the it guy that handles all the military maneuvers. By the time we get to this movie, we really understand that's the dude because of this scene. He under this thing, this oxygen thing or whatever it is, his chamber, and it's just putting his helmet back on. So they're teasing us like, what's under the mask? And he turns around. This one of the Imperial dudes has come in. He goes, what is it, General? He goes, Lord Vader, the fleet has moved out of light speed. ComScan has detected an energy field protecting an area of the sixth planet of the Hoth system. The field is strong enough to withstand any bombardment. I'm mad I know this. He goes, the rebels are alerted to our presence. Admiral Oswald came out of light speed too close to the system. And the guy, he goes, he thought surprise was better. He goes, he's as clumsy as he is stupid. General, prepare your troops for a surface attack. Yes, my lord. Then he turns around to the screen. And Admiral Oswald turns to the screen. Lord Vader is just like a Skype. He goes, we've just come out of light speed. We're preparing to... And he starts grabbing his neck because, Darth Vader can just look at you and choke you to death. He starts choking. So next to him is standing a guy named Captain Piet. So you go from captain to admiral just like this. The guy is choking. He goes, you have failed me for the last time, Admiral. Captain Piet. Yes, my lord. Make ready to land our troops beyond their energy field and deploy the fleet so that nothing gets off the system. You are in command now, Admiral Piet. Thank you, Lord Vader. And the guy drops dead. I'm mad I know it. I'm mad. Thank you, Cheryl, for telling me that he had passed. Damn it. Son, Jedi, I have to step out of the chat to take care of something. I appreciate that, Son. And any of you guys that do that, I wouldn't know that you're gone. I appreciate you doing that. It's just a courtesy. I love that. Son, or Andrea, Mike could dress. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But when he got on stage, he gave you everything. Everything. It had to be the biggest and the best for the fans. Had to be. Outside of that, Goodwill Child. Goodwill Child. Looked like he stank. Black Winter, Part 1. It's true that the concept of selling out can be applied to many different groups and individuals across various contexts. Part 2, selling out can be the idea often involves compromising one's values or principles for personal gain, whether it's for financial, political, social reasons. But I think we're talking about two different selling outs. Black Winter, I take your point, I agree with it. I'm talking about, like, we are, as a people, our stuff is just out there as a broadcast that people know they can come and pick us off. Do people compromise in their lives, other cultures, things like that? Of course, I don't know if there's a whole lot I wouldn't do for like 5 million. I've got some strong things I'm not doing, but after that, it's kind of open. Don't ask me. Anyways, But I'm just saying, like, as a group, we are like very predictable to sell out. Kiara, my beautiful sister, another shout out to you. You say she's an AKA. Thank you. Kamala does not look Indian to me. I look more Indian than her, and I totally agree with that, Kiara. Yes. If you guys don't know Kiara, go just see her on Instagram. That's when I really was like, look at Kiara, let me find out. I'm over it. Her whole family's beautiful, and I agree with her. They look more like that than Kamala. Like, I've said this too. Like, if I just seen Kamala, like, we know people, look, most of us probably got something in us because of slavery. You feel me? I'm not sitting up here fully chocolate. You feel me? So something happened. But, you know, I feel like when I first saw Kamala, and that means she's the senator for my state. I didn't know the bitch lived here. I never heard of her. I never saw her name. Okay, grant you, I don't have television and I don't get the newspaper and all that stuff, but as long as she was here and I'm here, I should have at least heard her name or something, an article I'm reading, police cases I've covered, something, nothing. I didn't see her until she was running for the Senate and Barack was like supporting her. And my first look at her was, I just thought, that's a black woman right there. You know, I mean, I knew she wasn't African, but that would be a sister. Like Vanessa Williams. Vanessa Williams, that's a sister. We know it. We know, you know, Maya Rudolph from Saturday Night Live. I could just go on. I'm just trying to say, like, she just turned exotic. You feel me? Instead of just saying, I do have some Indian, I really do have some Indian in me, but I'm a black woman. Did I say that, Cheryl, so-called special Jew? I won't know till I see this back. Yes, there is. Come on, of course, there's there is white supremacy and anti-racism, anti-black racism in the Jewish community. Of course, because they have this whole supremacy thing. That's part of the reason why fucking Hitler wanted their asses out. Oh, we're supreme shit. No, not here. Apparently, he was. Apparently, that's what he was saying. Not here. You know. Yeah, they never tell the story. You see, it's like the old African proverb says: "Until the lions tell their tale, the story of the hunt will always glorify the hunter." Thank you, Andrea. I don't know. Did I know that he was 6'6"? Because I'm 6'10", so so that right there, I'm being told I'm not 6'10". I'm being told. Just off camera, I'm being told. Yeah, David Prowse is tall as fuck. I don't know if I knew it was 6'6". Yeah, I do know that that he was the dude, Rich Homie Quan, there in Atlanta, Andrea. It's funny because I had just started to know who he was. Like, really, oh, like, that's who he is, you know. I still don't know how he passed. What happened? Do we know that? Because he's not up there with James and Tito. Thank you, Black Winter. I agree. We are predictable ass people. We just are. And like I say, if we could have leadership, I saw one of these things. It's called Common Ground or something like that. It's not Common Ground because many decades ago when I was in college, me and my girlfriend in college, we had this idea. Just to not make it a long story, one of the things I came up with, I wanted to have a club, and I was going to call it Common Ground. It was a whole thing, and I could tell you the whole thing. But anyways, why did I mention that? Because why did I say? Oh, because we don't, oh, on this thing I was watching, it was called Grandparents Talk to Teens. So it was like one lady was, her birthday was going to be the next day. She was 69. She don't look it. In between them was a dude. He was 57 or 67. No, he was 57. Oh, he doesn't look good. All right. Well, he still looked great, but he didn't look as good as me because I would have gone, oh, he's the same age as me. Anyways, not that I'm 57, I'm only 21. All right, settle down. I'm just making analogies here. All right, so that we're clear. Anyways, and then next to him was a lady, and she was like 70 something, and she looked amazing. Like mama could still get it. You understand? And then across from them was two teenage girls. Well, one was mixed, and then a young brother in the middle of them. And it was so perfect because one of the questions that they asked, oh, is peaceful protest a good thing? Step forward. All the elders came forward. The young people stayed over there. That validated everything I needed to know. Everything I needed to know. Because I've said, if you don't raise a warrior, you don't get a warrior. And I always add Christianity to that because that sucks the heart out of you in the fight. Tells you to forgive and love the motherfuckers that you need to be stabbing the fuck up. Do you understand what I'm telling you? I don't want to get worked up. I'm getting worked up. How did Rich Homie Quan die? But I was going to say that, yeah, if we had real leadership, then we could have some sort of system where we could chastise motherfuckers that stepped outside of what was good for us. You're going to be an individual, but you won't stay with the fold. Or you just won't exist. And really be about it. Tell me how Rich Homie Quan died, Andrea. Or somebody. Was he shot? Toxicologies haven't come back yet. His dad, Corey, and my uncle are best friends. Just said he has 5 kids, so down to earth. So what are we saying? He wasn't in an accident. He wasn't shot. Just nothing happened. How? What? Was he just found unresponsive or something? Talk to me. Okay, I'm not going to wait forever. Yeah. How long have we been at it? Time to start landing. Okay, we'll start landing. Tell me how, tell me, was he just found or something? Talk to me. I think I started to say this earlier. I don't know if I finished saying it. So let me say it. Let me go ahead so I can sit back. Okay, that works for me. Anyways, couple things. Don't feel like you got to vote, everybody. Until we have unity, then we will just be used as margins. You will never get anything that you want. You're just trying to find something you can get off of what everybody else is getting. That's no way to live, you know. Like, I'm over it. I even saw this young brother. He says he used to be a pastor, and then he's, I guess it's not a pastor anymore or something. Anyways, one of the things he was saying, he was talking to another gentleman that used to be a pastor and a professor, but is now an atheist. So figure that out. But anyways, they were questioning, like, you know, like, does God even like us? You feel me? Like literally all over the earth, Black people are just not being felt. In our own continent, we're disrespected, we're fucking colonized and all the bullshit. And then you know what it is here, like, it really does make you wonder, you know, like, what's happening with you, God? Like, what's up? Why are we always getting the shitty end of the stick? Why? You know, and if you don't have a strong constitution, that can kind of shake your faith and your belief in God. You know, you can just go, I don't know if it is a God. I don't know. And so anybody who would feel that way, I could totally understand it. You know, it's not unreasonable. It's not ridiculous. And yeah, you could see by just the man that she picked, she's not for you. So when that brother sat up there and asked her, you know, what are you going to do for Black males, you know, to inspire Black males and to so I forget how he asked the question, but your answer is her husband's name is Doug and he's a fucking white hook-nosed Zionist fuck. That's your answer. She's not interested in you at all. That's your answer. That's your answer. She say she a Black woman. Michelle Obama gave us braids. We ain't seen a braid out this bitch. You feel me? I mean, like, sister energy is just sister energy. We just don't get sister energy from her. Like I said, when I seen her, I just went, that's a Black chick. But I didn't hear her or know anything about her or even anything. Just, I think I just saw a clip and it was a rally or something. It was like, I don't know, like Obama's there and, oh, she's running for Senate. I was probably busy doing something else. And that was the extent of it, you know. I didn't really pay attention to her until she ran for president. And she came across as like, and she still comes across as like someone that doesn't like to be questioned or second guessed or critiqued. I get strong that energy from her. And the fact that she can't answer a question is very interesting to me because you're a prosecutor. You got to be able to explain your case to a jury. You claim all these people you prosecuted, and I know Donald Trump's type, and I prosecuted. How'd you do it, bitch? Because if I'm sitting in the jury and you give me that word salad, it's not guilty. I don't understand the bitch, so just not guilty. Just completely not guilty. It never even happened. Whatever it is, it didn't happen. That's my vote. You know. Oh, an overdose in his house. An overdose of what? Oh, you don't know yet because you said toxicology didn't come back. Okay. How old was he? Yeah. I'm over it. Fuck Kamala Harris. America is the great Satan on the earth, everybody. As I've always said since you've known me, this is the throne room of evil on the planet. This is the central headquarters of white evil is America. If you don't know that to be true when I say it, you got work to do. You're totally caught up in the matrix. That should ring true to you as soon as you should almost finish it before I say it. I mean that. I mean that. And that should be the response of all Black people. And when you don't have that response, then that means you don't have the right information. Because knowledge equals action. Who is this? I don't know if that was Uncle. That's our problem. You know, the oneness that we should have, it used to be a knowing when I was younger, it used to be annoying. You come across other black people, it's annoying. It's certain things you just say, everybody know it, we agree. That was your end, you know, just new school, new neighborhood, whatever. We knew the same thing, you know. And we've been so caught up in trying to be a version of fucking white people that there's not many of us out here who still hold the greatness that it is to be an African. And I heard somebody say something that gave me a new thinking, Cheryl, with you and your FBA. But it draws closer to your point, because this person was saying we're actually the true Americans. This wasn't a young guy either, so it gave it a little bit more weight for me. But he said actually black people are the true Americans. He said because this is all we've ever known, and we made something out of nothing. This is all we've ever known. And I'm failing to reconcile it because, you know, and then there was I feel like it was a sister that was saying what I know to be true, because as I said, you know, they have it as that Africans were on the earth at least some 75,000 years before anybody else showed up. So we didn't just stay in Africa. We were the first people to traverse everywhere. So we came to this bitch first. That's why the further you go back to with the Native Americans, they get darker and fucking darker and fucking darker. That's with anything on the earth. The more you dig, the darker it gets. And you know, it solidifies that we're the first people, you know. But one has to also then bring into that context and understanding that the earth is not what we've been given. That the earth is certainly these continents that we seem to know about, if they are even that, is vastly different. You know, the earth is not a globe, everybody. Every holy book describes the earth as being stationary, sitting upon its pillars under a firmament through which we cannot transgress. The stars in the sky, if you get a cheap pair of binoculars or a telescope, you'll see what it, you know, like if you have a flashlight underwater and somebody was looking, or even lights that be in pools and how it look, that's what the stars, because they're in the firmament, above as below. There's water above and water below. They've shot nuclear weapons. You can go and watch documentaries on that at the fucking firmament, trying to see if they can break it. They can't break it. Allah has said, and in the Quran it says He has established a barrier through which we cannot transgress. We cannot leave this earth. Nobody has been to space. It just never fucking happened. It's more white devil fucking lies. That's why I say if they never existed, it'd be a better place to fucking live. Because we'd know all the history, all the truth, how it all lines up, all this. The only people that came and fucked up everything is white people. Say, fine, you got other evidence? Somebody else show me that shit. Because right now I'm winning. This is the truth. Oh, 34. Thanks, Andrea. So, you know, it's you have to understand that the earth that we live on. That's why they don't let you go to Antarctica, because beyond the ice wall is a whole nother world. That's why when you hear extraterrestrial, terrestrial means land, extra fucking land, extra land. go look up Admiral Byrd, Robert Byrd. I think his first name is Robert. Just put it on YouTube. Admiral Byrd. He's the first person to go to Antarctica. And back before they probably marked him off, he was on television talking about his expedition to Antarctica, and he was saying there's an area over there bigger than the United States. I mean, he made expeditions to Antarctica. He saw it. Then they had the Antarctic Treaty. Nobody's broken it. My problem is I'm having a real problem with people coming to Earth and think they own the fucking Earth. Like, how is there such thing as illegal fishing, bitch? Show me your permit from God to the ocean. Show me that. I'd like to see that license that you got from God that you own the fucking ocean. I fish where the fuck I want, when I want, for as much as I want. Done. Don't give me this species is endangered and this one is. How the fuck do you know? How do you know that? You can't know that. You can't know that. You don't have any technology that you could know that. Get out my face. It's the same thing. Like, you know, they're trying to come through with these laws with drones. Like, you have to get a permit to fly a drone. Fuck you. I'm flying where I want to, when I want to, bitch. I'm a responsible adult. I know if there's a plane in the area. I'm flying. I don't need a permit. You don't own the fucking sky. You don't. I'm over it. I'm over it. I'm over it. And that's one of the freedoms that you feel when you're in Africa. It's not all of this. People just owning shit random. No. I'm over it, man. Anyways, I lost my train of thought. Just to digress, I'll say this as we land. Without unity, we're nothing, everybody. You know, I don't know if even in my lifetime, it's among one of my constant and greatest prayers. Because one of my number one prayers, I think it is number one. I always ask Allah, never let me be ungrateful. Never let me be ungrateful. Never let me be ungrateful. I always ask that. It's one of my constant prayers. Personally, if I was saying grace over my food, it's one of the things I always pronounce that. Never let me be ungrateful. You know, because there's something to being ungrateful. And even the magnitude to which I understand it's greater than that, because even Allah goes out of his way to say this to mankind in the Quran, that man is an ungrateful creature. That's your maker saying this, the owner of existence saying that, you know. So I always ask Allah, never let me be ungrateful. But one of my constant prayers is I always ask Allah, and I always pray for all of you too, even though me and you I never met, I never saw, I never will. I still pray for you. And I always ask Allah to let me see in my lifetime our people liberated. We weren't put here to be somebody else's subject our entire fucking existence, generation after generation after generation. What I know is that violence is the door you have to go through when you're dealing with fucking white people. Because they deal with everything with violence and tell you violence is not the way. They have armies and tell you they need to have gun control. For who, bitch? For who? Have all the guns you can fucking buy and store and stand. As long as this white devil breathes. That would be my advice. That would be my advice. But I also always ask Allah, not only to just let us be liberated and free and one, but I want Africa to be one Africa. One. 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 A paradise where white people are not allowed. And if they come, they can come as tourists, but we charge them a huge premium to where you have to be almost a billionaire to make the trip to come. And you can only stay no more than 2 or 3 days, and you have to take your white ass off the continent. Go. And then we sterilize wherever you're at and exterminate. Just to get that evil spirit you know. But we don't have to do that because we don't need tourism dollars in Africa. We don't need anybody to come to Africa because everybody is eating off Africa. Everybody needs everything from Africa. Nobody survives without Africa. Every fucking European country dies off if Africa says doors shut. That's one way we get rid of their white ass. We grow Africa to be one Africa with strong leaders that say, not right here, white devil. Not right here. Not right here. That's how you get that shit. But I always ask for that. Let us have our time. Let us have our time. I don't want to wait until I'm trying to live a life that makes me worthy of Allah's mercy. When he takes my soul, I want to be worthy of paradise. I don't want to live my whole life in a white devil fucking stinking hell and then go to hell. That's why I encourage my people to get the fuck out of this Christianity bullshit. Understand that you can have a one-on-one relationship with the one that created you. There are no intercessors. You don't need nobody to help you. I knew that since I was probably 6. One of the worst ass whoopings I ever got. I think I'll end with this. One of the worst ass whoopings I ever got in my entire life that I still remember today. And because there was few, because I was a Christ child. I didn't do anything wrong. Really, I was a good kid, y'all. I'm not even being funny. Like, I was a good kid. But this is one of those rare occasions where I was still a good kid, but I did something wrong, so I had to have my ass beat, so I wouldn't do that no more. And what I did was I stayed out after the street lights came on. You don't do that on Southside Chicago. So, but why I had stayed out, I remember why I was still out after the street lights came on. Because me and my little friend that lived down the street named Andrew, I remember his mother's name was Kat. I don't know if that was her real name, but it was Kat. And we were sitting on the stoop in front of his building. We'd been playing. And, you know, the imagination of a child is wonderment and magic and invincibility, you know. And we were just started saying, but it was still daylight at this time. And we were saying, I don't know how we started talking about God, which is 2 little, probably 5 or 6-year-old kids, if it was 6. And we were saying, God could make us taller than the buildings. He could make us fly. He could give us superpowers. We could be like Spider-Man. We could, you know, just all this outrageous stuff that we're letting our little imaginations go. And I remember saying, yeah, so he doesn't even need Jesus. I knew that. 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 I know that. I've always known that God was greater than anything that I could imagine or know or conjure. And he didn't need nobody's help. That I always have known. Right here. Know it. I know it. You don't got to tell me. I know. And indeed, I believe every human being knows already. I just think, I don't understand people that make themselves believe stuff. You know, that's a real thing, supposedly. I don't understand this. Like, you know, like, I'm one of these people, like, I'm over it. Like, I judge and measure if something is factual, and that's it. And I accept the truth of whatever, of anything, from any source, the truth. I always tell you this. We accept truth no matter what the source. Because I always tell you, take $1 million out of a shitty toilet. You will. I would. And I just always knew that. I've never not known that. I've never not known that. I always knew that. God is one. He's greater than anything. And this Wizard of Oz story that they've given you about Jesus is just that, a Wizard of Oz story. And then they give you a white man at that. Gotta be white. You know. But maybe we are God's chosen people, or because of all the lies of this demonic white devil, maybe even that we have been seduced away from our power or something. Maybe we had mystical powers. Maybe we could fly, you know, maybe I could do something with energy with my hands or my thought, or I could travel at light speed someplace else or something. We don't know how divine we might, or how many not divine. We're divine because Allah created us. Anything Allah creates is divine by default. If Allah did that, that is divine. That's why I always tell you, anything that Allah creates, the moment you touch it, you just ruined it. It just all went to hell right there. You just ruined it. Because it was perfect. Now you just ruined it because you touched it. Because anything that Allah does is perfection. Look at me. Look at you. I am perfect. Perfection. The systems, the way the body heals, all these things. I can just go on and on. You know, so maybe there's so much more to us that we don't know because they don't have it, and so they've taken us away from it. You know, it's kind of like this kid I was watching the other day. His mother threw him in the trash when he was little, and one of the neighbors saw him and knew that was her baby. But it was one of the neighborhoods where they kind of know the family, so he took him out of there and called the grandmother and said, "I got your grandbaby, and I'm not gonna let him go to you, you know, or something." But it's like if somebody, you didn't know that, because he had to be told he was thrown in the trash, right? So just imagine I won't use that, but just imagine you are on the street homeless, and you find out later that you had like a great uncle that knew you and held you when you were a baby and all that, and he was a billionaire and left you like $5 billion. And there's people that knew and just didn't fucking tell you because they couldn't access the money. It was only for you. You would be a hot ass. I would kill everybody. I'm out here struggling, and y'all know I was heir to $5 billion. It can only be death. Nothing else would satisfy me. Nothing. Nothing else. Well, nothing else. Just to be clear. Yeah, nothing else. There's nothing else. Death only. It'd have to be death. Just that we have to wonder is a problem. I'm going to bring you some stuff that's along this line, you guys. You can start looking at some of the stuff on your own. Like there's the Great Mud Flood, it's called. It's Tartarian. But if you see some of the, like when I first ever saw this many years ago, it's why it struck me at the beginning is because you know, these grand buildings that they used to build, grand, so much detail and engraving and the shit, and they don't build buildings like that no more. Who built that? With what and how? How they do that? You know, they've lied about the pyramids, and how they're built. You know, there was all these people. Of course, they got darker when they show you the people that are building the pyramids. But there's slaves. It's clearly meant to imply you're You're just a worker. This isn't your idea. You know, that wouldn't happen. You know. And then, you know, they're moving these blocks. But what if we were giants? What if we were giants? You know, the story of Ibrahim alayhi salam and his son in the Quran, when the Prophet Ibrahim builds the Kaaba. The Kaaba is the thing in Mecca that you see the Muslims circling around. That is the Kaaba. It's black because it's covered in a black suede looking cloth that the men sit with gold and embroider Quran calligraphy on it. It's very holy. And that covering is called a kiswa. So it's not a black box in the desert, let us understand. Underneath that is a brick structure that was built by the Prophet Abraham and his son Ishmael. And he must have been a giant. Somebody bigger than us to build that. It's not a skyscraper or anything at all, but you're going to need some scaffolding to build that. This is built by the Prophet Ibrahim. Please. And then they found skulls that are huge. Here in America, they found the Olmec heads, those giant heads they found that are like stories tall and this shit. I mean, clearly African features and all that. Who are we? Because the more I realize how much I don't know, the more I hate the fuck out of these people, dude. Because that's the motherfuckers why I don't know it. That's why. And they still lying. Still. So fuck Trump, fuck Kamala, fuck America. I'm over it. Who are we? What's our true power? Last thing I said this 3 times. That little thing I was telling you about, where there's people on different sides, there was another discussion about race and stuff like that. And this one white bitch, appreciated her, because again, we take the truth from anywhere. So we take the truth and we strangle her or do something, I don't know. Or she falls over and maybe she breaks her neck, has a spinal injury. I don't know. Things happen. Don't ask me questions. I don't want to get into that. But I forget what the question was, but she was like, well, for me, you know, working in the medical field, you know, a lot of black women, they don't get an epidural because they're taught. She goes, but they've dispelled the myth now. She said, but they are taught that, you know, black people have a higher tolerance to pain, so they don't give black women epidural in childbirth. And then so many black women also die, and which we know about a lot of black women dying in childbirth, which is so fucking suspect to me because the black woman is the first woman to give birth to anybody. And what sisters in Africa are popping them out like M&Ms, just pop them out like it's nothing. What's the issue here? Your body is designed to give the life. What has happened? What has this white devil done that has made that now a threat? What has happened? I don't even believe that children are born disabled. You come here perfect. And when there's a problem, it's because the white devil has fucking intervened. Something has happened. Just like gay people, transgender, all the bullshit. Something has happened. We've seen evidence of this. I brought it to you in other work. I showed you there's a black scientist. He was in a lab and everything. He's working with lizards, reptiles. And he's literally saying this thing that they give when they inject the lizards with this, the male lizards do everything female. 100% fucking percent. 100%. That's it. Their whole instinct is they're female. That's it. You're going to tell me this evil fucking reptilian white devil hasn't done that to humans? Because they get off on dumb shit. That's real. So when you hear gay people proclaiming, or you hear the fucking Lady Gaga singing Born This Way, I believe them. I believe them because I just thought, why would God do that and forbid that? After a while, I had to accept they they really believe they're born like that. Maybe they are. Like, who would choose that? So that's how I reconciled it, is that something is being introduced, especially now, all the control that the government has over children. It's astonishing to me. I'm not a parent. If I was a parent, I would have a machine gun in my hand at all fucking times. These are my kids. You don't run this. I was talking about the ocean and the air and everything else. Like, who told you you own the, who the fuck told you you own my kids? Who told you you own my fucking kids? That's machine gun right there. That's nothing else. You feel me? So because there's so much intervention now, and all the schedule of vaccines that kids have to have before they can go to school and all the bullshit, something is introduced. Something is introduced. And then that something went up because since the pandemic, certainly when we came out of the pandemic, everybody was transgender. Everybody's transgender and has pronouns and shit. And it was just like, what the fuck? So something has happened. So anytime that you have something that's not perfect, that means it is not of Allah, the creator, the owner of existence. The owner of existence. The moment you have something that's not perfect, that is not of Allah, period. Because Allah has shown us his majesty in everything and the order of his creation. Then your child's going to be born with a club foot or Tourette's or a Down syndrome or some bullshit. No, this is not Allah. Show me the zebra that's born with any of that. Show me the hippopotamus or the giraffe or the bird or any other animal in the kingdom of animals that's born with any fucking defect, and you will not find it. So why are humans being born with defects? I ask you this now. Because they're not. Because it is the white devil. That's what it is. I've taken enough of your time, everybody. When we go long times without this, then I think that's one of the reasons why my stream is cold. If you want to help our sister, that would be a wonderful thing. But you've heard me, and if you've heard me, and Allah knows what you've heard. You know now. If you don't act, that's between you and the owner of existence. I leave you with Romans 3:4. Let God be the truth and every man a liar. This is the Jedi. I love you all.